Hey, what's up, everybody? Today I'm going to tell you a story about when I was in San Diego and I took a lot of shrooms. So yeah, I used to live in San Diego. I lived there for a year. The reason I moved out there is to stop using drugs, and I ended up, I stopped using drugs for a while, but then when I got out of the sober living facility that I was in, I just went back into it. I started taking a lot of mushrooms again, and weed and some other drugs. But luckily I never got into the real hard drugs. But that's beside the point, I guess. So I was taking shrooms for maybe, I don't know, a couple weeks, maybe more, I don't remember. I was on a shroom binge. So yeah, the one day I woke up, I decided to make shroom tea with a quarter of shrooms. If you don't know how much a quarter of shrooms is, it's quite a bit to just take in one sitting. Some people would say it's pretty crazy. I think it's kind of crazy too. But at the time, I thought it was pretty normal. I thought I was like finding this path of enlightenment through the mushrooms. And in a way, maybe I did, But from an outsider's perspective looking in, I was just a dude taking shrooms, going crazy, doing some dumb stuff, So I went out all the way to the desert after drinking this quarter of mushroom tea. And, the desert was, I think, like a 3-hour drive maybe from where I was. And my plan was to go there, relax all day. I had been fasting for like a couple days at that point. No food or anything. And I was drinking water. But yeah, I was on a food fast for, I think it was a couple days at that point. And my plan was to go in the desert, drive my car out there, and just stay in my car, and then, just camp out and find the meaning of life on these mushrooms. And I brought my whole bag. I had like a ton of mushrooms left. I brought the whole bag with me. And I was ready to dive in. So I'm driving all the way to the desert, and I'm starting to trip
Heavily.
Everything's starting to like kind of shift around while I'm driving. Like the mountains are like crazy. Everything just looked pretty awesome. Everything looked insanely amazing. So I'm going to the mountain. I'm thinking like I'm on this mission from God. My mission is, in my mind, to save the devil, to help the devil come to God. I've still had this like thought that I have to get the devil to come to God, and somehow I was the person that was supposed to do this because I was the one diving into the deep water to find the key that unlocks this door for the devil to go to God. I don't know. That was my thought process. I was like almost at the desert, and everything just got like so crazy looking to the point where I was like in a good way, to the point where I was like, wow, I just got to stop and take all of this in. So I park along this little parking lot type thing. It wasn't really a parking lot, it was just like a little side road. So I pull in there, I sit on top of my car, and there's like no one around. It's like pretty vacant. So yeah, I get out of my car, I'm sitting on top of my car, and I'm just like listening for a sign from God to see if there's anything I should do at this point. I drove 2-3 hours, and if you don't know anything about mushrooms, that's like peak trip. When you're 2-3 hours in, you're starting to really feel it. So as I'm sitting on my car, I hear like something tell me to go up to the top of the mountain, because I don't know, I thought there was some kind of reason for me to go up there. I was pretty delusional, to be honest with you, at this point, if you haven't already guessed. So I get off the top of my car, and I have just sweatpants on, no shirt, no shoes, no socks, just sweatpants. My phone's in the car on the side of the road. So I get off, I start going over this one mountain. I get to the top of that, I go down, I'm like, oh, I might as well keep going. So I go down the other side of that mountain. So at this point, my car's on this side of the mountain, and I'm on this side of this first mountain. And then there was a road, so I cross the road. And then there's this big mountain, like huge mountain, that I go, and mind you, there's cactus in the desert, and I'm barefoot, and there's rocks and all kinds of crap. So my feet, I don't know, it didn't really hurt, to be honest with you, because I was on a lot of mushrooms. And those guys who walk on like hot coal, and their feet are like completely fine. From, I don't know if it's from training or from building your feet up to be able to deal with that kind of stuff, or the way you're stepping on it, and I don't know. But whatever it was, I had it at that time, and I knew what to do. I knew how to control the pain and not affect my feet too bad. But eventually, obviously, if you're walking on a bunch of cactus, you're gonna start to have some pretty messed up looking feet. But I'll show you the video. I'll put it right up here so you can look at it, of my feet. They were pretty messed up. And so yeah, I'm walking. I'm going up the second mountain, and as I'm going up the second mountain, it's like a pretty steep climb, almost like a rock climbing thing. And I felt like the man, to be honest with you. I'm going up this side of this huge mountain in nothing but sweatpants, and I'm on mushrooms, so like, you know, you can only imagine. I felt like a beast, I'll put it that way. So yeah, I'm going up. I'm still thinking that there's some kind of mission that I'm on to help the devil. Maybe there's something at the top of the mountain that's gonna be the key to what I'm looking for. Delusional, obviously. So yeah, I finally get to the top of the mountain after I don't know how long. It felt like forever. So yeah, I'm at the top of this mountain, and I just lay there, just like flat on my back. And there's all kinds of crap crawling all over me, like bugs and who knows what else. I wasn't really paying attention, but I saw like stuff crawling on my arms, and I didn't even care. I trusted that they weren't gonna hurt me, which they didn't, luckily. And I got up, and they all just like kind of crawled off me, almost like it felt, I mean, I guess you got to take everything that I'm saying right now with a grain of salt, because this is what I experienced. I think what I experienced was really what happened, but I was also thinking that I was on a mission from God at this point, so I can only tell you what I experienced. So yeah, I'm at the top of this mountain, and I'm actually, at this point, I started screaming like at the top of my lungs, out of joy, anger, all kinds of emotions were going through me. And I was actually screaming too at one point, trying to get the attention of the people driving on the street, which was like very far away. I couldn't even give you a guess because it was so far. So yeah, I'm shouting at the cars, trying to get them to stop and like see that I'm up at the top of this mountain, because I didn't think I'd be able to make it down. My feet were all messed up. I was dehydrated. I had no water. I had no phone. I had nothing. It was such a far way to my car, and my feet hurt. And I was like, you know, I don't know what to do. So I'm stuck up here. So at one point, I'm just like, you know what? I'm taking off my sweatpants. I don't know if I was hot or if I just wanted to be naked at the top of this mountain. But I took everything off. I'm completely naked. I'm thinking, you know, I don't know what the hell I'm thinking here. I'm just doing it. I'm not thinking, I guess. I wasn't really thinking. Clearly, I wasn't thinking. If I'm naked at the top of the mountain, I'm by myself in the desert on mushrooms. Or if I was thinking, the thoughts were a little messed up, as you can imagine. So as I'm at the top, I stopped screaming. I thought, you know what? I'm just going to stay here. And eventually, you know, someone will know that I'm missing, and they'll look for me. Because I told people I was going to the desert. So I was like, you know what, I'll just stay here overnight. Maybe they'll start looking for me tomorrow, and I'll be fine. And then like a helicopter will come, and then I'll be on the news, and then all these delusions started coming. I'll be on the news like, hey, this guy climbed up to the top of this mountain on mushrooms, and he's the man type of news. And it wouldn't have happened that way. I was just completely delusional. So embarrassing to say, but at the same time, it's pretty hilarious. So anyway, so yeah, after that delusion passed, and I was like, you know what, I'm not staying here all night. This is not a good idea. What if it gets cold? I only have, you know, it's not a good idea. It's just not. So I get this thought pops into my mind, and it's like, if you made it up here, you can make it down. So I took that and I ran with it. I was like, you know what? You're right, thought. You're right. I can make it down. Even if I get hurt, I could still make it down eventually. Just keep going, right? So as I'm going down the mountain, after that thought comes the brilliant thought of, if I got up here, I could get down. I'm like falling down the mountain. I fell a couple times. I got this cactus stuck in my foot, like lodged in the side of my foot. Like, picture this in my foot. I got it like right there. And it's just stuck in my foot. So I take my hand and I try to get it out, and it's obviously like a ball of cactus, so I can't even grab it with my hand. So I had to take a rock and I had to just like wedge it off of my foot. And after that, I honestly felt even more badass. So I just was like, I ran with that, the energy from that. I was like, yeah, let's keep going. I'm the man right now. And so I just keep going. I'm falling. I'm just going, and I think I was doing a mantra. If you know what a mantra is, it's when you repeat the same thing over and over and over again. And my mantra was no pain. I think I got it from Rocky. It was like, no pain, no pain. Long story short, I got to the end of the road. I got to the road where I originally crossed. I'm at the road, naked. There's cars driving by. And I'm yelling at them like, hey, help me, like trying to get their attention. And they see me. And some of them just keep driving. This one guy just smiled and waved. Who knows what he was thinking. And then there's this lady who I was yelling at. I was like, can you please help me? Like, at this point, I was dehydrated. I was even more delusional than before. So I'm like, can you please help me? And she's like, looking at me. She kind of slowly goes up the road, and she leaves a towel and a water bottle on the side of the road, like, I don't know, 50 yards up. And my feet are so messed up that I'm like, I gotta walk all the way up there and get that. So I walked up there. I limped up there, and I got the water bottle and I got the towel, and I put the towel around me and I drank the water. And then a fire truck came up the side of the mountain, and the fire truck, I waved it down. I was basically just telling what happened. The fire truck called an ambulance. An ambulance came, and I went to the hospital. I was like severely dehydrated, and I had all that stuff in my feet, so they like picked it out when I was there. And yeah, I mean, it ended with me moving back to Pennsylvania and driving from California to Florida to get my dog, and then back to Pennsylvania. This was actually 4 years ago, so it was not like this was a recent thing. So I went back to Pennsylvania. It was a long drive. Me and my dad came, and shout out to my dad. He's always been there, even when I'm completely out of my mind on mushrooms or whatever I was doing at that point. He's always been there for me. He's always been my rock, So anyway, that's pretty much the end of the story. Since then, nothing too crazy like that has happened, thankfully, and I don't think it ever will again. But I will say that that experience has taught me so much about what I can personally deal with in life, being like pain or anything, just dealing with stuff in life, getting through hard times, obstacles, whatever. Like the fact that I was able to walk back down the mountain successfully with all that crap on my feet and just get through it. It just felt like I really successfully conquered some demons at that point. It might just seem like something that was just dumb, and well, Jeff, you probably didn't learn anything from that. It was just a dumb thing, but no, I learned a lot from it, and I think it's an awesome story, at least interesting story, and I just learned a lot. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. If you enjoyed the video, give me a like, subscribe, whatever you want to do, or don't. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye.